Please read the disclaimer. Holy smokus, it ain't no jokus. The crypto market just hit its highest point in 2 months. Will we see the crypto market continue the trend, or is this a big bull trap? Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. We're going to talk about XRP, about Bitcoin, about silver, about the current situation, the geopolitical situation around the world. We're going to talk about the World Economic Forum. I know that's what floats your boat. All I asked from you is that you give me a beautiful smile to send out those good vibes. I know whenever someone says Davos, you get all hot and bothered. Smishity smash that like button. Let's try to get 1,000 likes on this video. I know you guys can do it. Let's take a look here. The current crypto market cap is at 3.21 trillion. As you can see, it's the highest point it has been, or it hit last night, the highest point at 3.24. Basically, since back in mid-November, if we go, we can see Bitcoin hit the resistance level at 95,252. So this was mid-November when we had that kind of sell off all the way down to 81,000. XRP is sitting at $2.14, down 0.75%. XRP is actually a little bit far away from where it was back on January 6th. We talked about this yesterday, how XRP is kind of found level water, meaning it's rallied stronger than Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, and now it seems that those are rallying and XRP is kind of coming back to the mean. We did get a buy signal on the 1348 EMA here for Bitcoin and for Ethereum and for Solana. Remember that XRP had that crossover back on January 8th. So now it's coming back a little bit to where it was on January 5th. And we're getting water, a little bit leveling, like the price action is coming back to the mean of the other top four cryptocurrencies out there. Of course, there are assets, that have gone up, like, Pepe and things like that have recovered over the past few days, kind of back to where they were. Very strong, the meme coins. We had also Bonk, right, kind of leveling back up. XRP so far is only about, if we take the high here, it's about 10% less than it was at 240. It will be very interesting to see here for XRP, as it has relieved some of the pressure. What could potentially happen? Because again, we got a crossover on the 4 hour, we got a crossover on the 1 hour. You can see once we had that crossover here, we talked about it last night. XRP was able to go up almost 4%. At the high there was about 6%. So we'll see what happens here for the crypto market. Again, like I said, we had the highest value of the last 2 months. And if we go and we look at the crypto fear and greed index, we jumped in just one day. You see, the market recovered a little bit. Bitcoin went up about 2% on the day. And we had, memes waking up a little bit. How much was the daily candle? 4.5% yesterday on the daily candle. So more than I anticipated, because I went to sleep early last night and then I didn't see where the candle closed. There was about 4%, and just one day, like one recovery day, and suddenly we're at the highest fear and greed index that we have been, since when? Probably since November, right? Yeah, makes sense. 3rd of November even wasn't as high. 28th of October, 29th of October, we hit 50. So it's been a very long time where the greed and fear index has been so low. We've been in massive fear, and now finally we're seeing a little bit of a recovery here. Now the question is going to be, right, you have President Trump going on the news and saying economic boom has officially begun. So that puts, confidence in the investors. But then you look and you see, okay, stocks record high, gold record high, silver record high. By the way, silver, gold continue to go up. Silver actually has become the second largest asset. Crazy rally, right, over 90. Home prices record high, copper record high, platinum record high, money market funds at record high, US debt, deficit spending, household debt, all of these assets are at record highs. when everything hits a record high at the same exact time, it's not a coincidence. Fiat currencies are depricing inflation, right? And so this is very interesting to think about when we look at the crypto market, and the crypto market is far from record highs. And again, when we look at this and investors look at this and they say, okay, we can go with the assets that have momentum, stocks, metals, right? Or we can try to find something that is devalued. Usually what happens is smart money goes to these devalued assets that the market thinks that has potential to continue to recover. And retail, or quote unquote dumb money, right, goes with the FOMO, goes where the hype is, goes where everybody's looking at. And so that's the theory right now that potentially could fuel the crypto market over the next month or two. Again, I don't know how this is going to exactly play out. I don't know if we'll go up or down. As always, this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only. These are my opinions, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or send me anything. Those are scammers. Please be very careful out there. As you can see, lots of green, right? Lots of green here, but we know that it can flip. The same way when last kind of run up, I warned that we could see a pullback. Let's see continuation. Let's see XRP gets back to this local high. Let's see Bitcoin break 100,000. And then we can talk a little bit more about maybe we're back, maybe there's momentum, maybe potential run up here. The only little thing that concerns me, right, that could turn into a big thing is we still have that gap up from New Year's. It's very hard to see because it was a midweek gap up. It was very small at 88,000. And so we're getting away from that. And the fear here is that we, run up maybe back to 120, 125, and then everybody's, happy and bothered. And then it pulls back to close this gap. So we'll see. Again, we'll continue to talk about it over the next few months. If this momentum continues, it will be very interesting to see how that plays out. Senate Agriculture Committee Chairman John Boozman scheduled crypto market structure bill markup for January 27th. Legislative text will be released January 21st. And you can see here the Senate Banking Committee Clarity Act is a result of more than 6 months of good faith bipartisan negotiating and benefit from constitutional with industry participants, legal, academic experts, and stakeholders. So potentially we will see these new acts coming into play over the next few weeks. Again, these are big things forward for the crypto market. It's going to be very, very important. And this was interesting and kind of surprising to me when I saw this data. Ethereum network activity hits new all-time high. Ethereum just added a record 393 new wallets in a single day, lifting average daily wallet creation to highest level on record over the past week. This is very surprising, right? Because you would think that the highest level would be around the end of 2021 when NFTs were the hottest thing out there, and everybody was using Ethereum and buying Ethereum, and it was the highest until now or a few months ago. But suddenly we're seeing a lot of Ethereum wallets come. I wonder what the reason why is. Could it be people that are using stable coins? That could be a possibility. Let me know in the comment section, why do you think the transactions on Ethereum network has gone significantly up over the past few days? Is this again a sign of renewed interest in the crypto markets? I'm not so sure, but it will be very interesting to see. Let's see what Grok thinks for a second. It could be some kind of change that maybe the Ethereum network is doing. Interesting. I want to just, well, it's okay. Chart from Block. Interesting. That doesn't really know either. My father asked me a question yesterday. He gave me a list of all crypto companies, Ripple, Ethereum, and a few other companies. And he asked me, do you know if any of these are, here, I'll show you the list. And he asked me, do you know of any of these companies, right? And are they IPO'd? Because he was interested in potentially investing in them because he read an article about Fireblocks. So again, when you have a situation where my dad, maybe he's not, most into crypto, is asking me about these companies, about these possibilities, suddenly you hear, okay, maybe a little bit of the hype, a little bit of the sexiness is coming back to the crypto market or around crypto. That's a smart investor, right? My dad's a smart investor, would be thinking about maybe there's potential there going forward. So that was just an interesting anecdote that I wanted to share with you. And another interesting anecdote and something that could be beneficial or detrimental for the crypto market. I'm still out on this a little bit on my opinion. Treasuries bought 3 times more Bitcoin than miners. Public and private company treasuries now hold 1.1 million Bitcoin, up from 854,000. Over the past 6 months, they added 260,000 Bitcoin, while miners produced about 82,000, about 3x less. So you have a situation right now where after the halving, it's getting harder and harder for these miners to produce the asset. Moreover, because the price has not maybe appreciated as some people had thought, it's less strategic for them to produce as much. On the flip side, you have these companies that are converting fiat into Bitcoin, and this could be beneficial. The only thing and what has concerned me over the past year or so is that these companies might come out and the first time of fear, they start, relieving their assets, selling their assets, and not holding long term, and that could create a lot of selling pressure. It could be part of why we've seen the Bitcoin in specific drop over the past few months. From the high at 125 all the way down here to 82,000. So that could be a possibility that there was maybe a company, not Strategy, but the other smaller Metaplanet, but smaller companies maybe added Bitcoin to their balance sheet and were starting to reduce it as the price depreciated. So it will be interesting to see if we do see a comeback, how much more institutions do we see adding crypto to their balance sheet? It could be XRP, it could be Ethereum, Solana, we'll see. Bitcoin, going to be very, very interesting. And we do have the World Economic Forum coming on January 19th on Switzerland at Davos. That's coming next Monday. It will be very interesting to see what kind of nuggets do we get out from that. Ripple is going to be attending, and Brad is going to be a speaker. I didn't think that that would happen a year ago, but that's happening right now. And so again, we're seeing a big shift in the crypto market, in how the crypto market is being perceived around the world at these events, and the way that banks and other institutions, financial institutions, are looking at the crypto market. So it's a very, very interesting 2026 ahead of us. Don't forget to check out the links in the description down below. Subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, 8 for infinity and beyond. And don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.